Hello everybody. Cash stuffing video today. The kids and I tried to do this earlier, but they were tired, so I don't think they get the counting right. Plus it's late anyway. It's a little bit past 10. It's time for them to go to bed. I know my 15-year-old is in the room, but she's not asleep. I know that. But my 10-year-old, he should be asleep. So I'll probably put up a little short of the video that we did get. It wasn't a lot, but they tried. So today's cash stuffing is going to be $1,105. I'll show you just the binders that I have, the amounts that go in. Just trust me that that amount is there. I don't want to mess up counting for you guys. I know you guys like that part, but I'll count them as I go inside the binder. This is the first severance paycheck I got since I've been laid off. Today is a month since I've been laid off. I've done a personal vlog video that should be uploading, and that'll be out there. And hopefully I can make more of these just to give it an update on, budget, life, unemployment, job search, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. So primary spending binder, food for the house for the next 2 weeks is going to be $50. That's $25 per week. It's not a lot, but we do strategic shopping to where we have food left over. We have food that we can use. Basically, these are for like ingredients, or if the milk runs out, we'll get some more milk, fresh fruit, things like that. We try to make sure our things are stacked like that. Gas for the next 2 weeks is $200. So yes, that's $200. I go to Mountain Home. It's about an hour away from where I live. You guys can use Google Maps and use the internet to figure out where that's at. But that's where my parents live, and I go there every weekend because I also teach jiu-jitsu on the weekends or on Sundays, and I need to be there for that. I love doing jiu-jitsu. It's the only time I get to train jiu-jitsu. I don't train in the town I currently live in, but that's a story for another day. Kid stuff gets $50 for the week. It's $25 per week. It's not $25 per kid. It's actually, when I stuff these in the wallet, $25 in the wallet, and I take it with me, we go out and we go do stuff. And if they want something that's additional to what they're already using on their debit cards, then we'll use this money. Or we can say, hey, we're going out, take the money. If you want to do something, that's what our out and about money is for. We can combine the two. If not one kiddo needs more than the other, but we'll combine them if we need to, if we all go out and eat or something like that, which we don't do often. Maybe once every 2 weeks or so, I do offer to the kids, say, hey, we got the money, you guys want to go? But it's totally up to them. Out and about is $50 for the next 2 weeks. Again, it's $25 per week. And whatever we don't spend, we use for savings challenges. And oftentimes that's a big if, meaning we may not have something left over because we'll use it, and that's okay. The kids know that it's their money. They can use it. It's been accounted for. It's been budgeted. So they know that I don't have a job, and they don't, money's, all accounted for, but they understand that we put money away so they can have it, right? And not have to worry about things. Okay. Home is getting $50 also, and this is for like the stuff that household items, things like that. We don't combine this with our out and about money or the kids stuff. If we need to use this money, we use it for household items, not necessarily food for the house, cleaning stuff, the toilet papers, the paper towels, the whatever else for the house, the smelly goods for the laundry, things like that. Did I just mess? Yep. I'll go back to that. Me, I get $50 also. It's $25 per week. I try to. Some weeks I spend it all in one go. Lately I have, because of the season. Last month and the month before, I wouldn't have spent it. I would have used it for a savings challenge. And inside here, I have a wallet, a cash wallet to go in my wallet. So I would stuff the money in here, use this inside my wallet, and I can transfer it in out. Just a part of arts and crafts thing I do. I showed the video of the cash trays I made out of decks of cards, and I'll probably make a video of how to make those later down the line. Buffer, for this buffer, it'll get $10, and the buffer is pretty cool because whatever we overspend or underspend on something, we can put it in a buffer, and the buffer is to help keep everything in check. If we decide to, again, especially for the season, if oh, we need a budget for this, cool, well, we got this gift that we got to buy for so and so, and the buffer is always there. Our budget isn't so tight where we don't have a buffer, but our budget is tight to where we just can't spend here and there, and say, oh yeah, we'll just owe it to ourselves next week. That's not fair to us, right? Otherwise the budget would not work. They have to have some sticking points, some stinging points, to where if it happens or we use it, we have to okay, we're stuck with it. All right. Savings challenges. This is the money that's left over from weekly closeouts, or if I break a bill and I get ones. So we started doing this last month, to where anytime I break a bill, I get ones. And I put them in this, and then we use it. We group them all together in savings challenges. The kids get to do that for their savings challenge. And for each book that I have a balance sheet. So food for the week, or for the next pay period, is 50. Gas is 200. Kids is 50. Out and about is 50. Home is 50. Me is 50. And the buffer is 10. Okay, and this one can go plus or minus depending on what we got going on. Right? So primary spending done. Okay. Sinking funds. There's a bunch of them in here, and I redid this binder a couple weeks ago because I saw a lot of videos about people. They stripped their binders, they took everything out, and they were reconfiguring things for the next year. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm not quite there yet. I do have some money still inside some of the sinking funds, because the sinking funds I have high priority and low priority, and to me, I still need to figure out which is which for me. I know some are low, some are high, and I may change them within the month or depending on what's coming up. Right? So kiddo stuff is different from the primary spending. So kiddo stuff is stuff that they need. All right, if one needs something and the other one doesn't, I won't take it out of the kids stuff or kiddos stuff, but I'll take it out of this one. Right, so kiddos gets 50. Right. It can accumulate, and I hope it does, so the kids don't say, oh, I need this and that. It's Christmas time, so we got family and friends to buy them stuff, so they don't have to bug me about stuff like that. Papa gets 50. This money is for my dad. He has helped me out tremendously, and he's such a giving spirit. I want to be able to pay him back in time. So with being unemployed recently, he's gifted the kids things, and I have accepted it gracefully, but at the same time I want to be able to budget to be able to pay him back. It won't be the full amount right away, but it'll be something in there, and be able to have it and present it to him at a later time and date. Okay. Medical, I just bought some meds because I need to stay sane. Medical gets 50. It's 50. School gets 25. This is for regular school stuff. Winter break is coming up, so they probably won't need anything. For school supplies, I got a kiddo in high school, kiddo in elementary school. They don't need anything. When school supplies go on sale at beginning of the school year, that's when I buy a bunch of them. Glue sticks, color pencils, crayons, paper, notebooks. Now, do my kids use all that stuff? No, but what I do is I send them to school with it. Meaning every year, teachers ask for additional items, right? They don't have to ask us. I make sure the kids give extra anyway, because my kid, he uses a lot of tissues, right? He uses his sweater too, but somebody may need some extra tissues or hand sanitizing wipes, or hand sanitizer, or sanitizing wipes, or crayons, color pencils, glue sticks. They go up so fast, so I buy a bunch of those, and I send my kids to school with those ever so often, so they have it and give it to the teacher, right? We don't need the recognition. We just need to make sure that the teachers have the materials that they need, to corral in, some of these kids, because, we send our kids to go do, public school and interact, and sometimes these teachers have a hard job, right? Anything we can do to help lessen the load, right? Yes, they may be glorified babysitters in some parts of the world, but they're people too, right? I don't want them to be using their materials or their paychecks to fund the stuff that they should already have, right? So we give extra for that. So my kids shouldn't need anything. Car maintenance gets 50. I had a good chunk for car maintenance, but I had an issue with car stuff, so I had to use it, and I'm glad I did, because this wasn't one of those that was like, I'll get to it. It's at about 120 saved up, and I needed new headlight or light bulbs for headlamps, and I needed an oil change, so that took care of that. So now I'm refunding this, so I might beef this up next time depending on what the numbers look like. But it is winter time coming up, and making sure the vehicle, because I do drive 80 to 100 miles to my parents' house every weekend, so there and back throughout the week does take a toll on the vehicle, so I got to make sure the vehicle upkeep is important. Clothes and gear, that's for the kids. That gets 25. That's socks, whatever else, and it's Christmas time, so friends and family will buy them stuff, so they don't necessarily need anything. We just did wipe this out 2 weeks ago. We were coming home, and we were at Walmart, and the kids were like, oh, I need new base layers, or I need new compression shirts, and they're like, okay, fine, like we have $100 in there, that's for both of you. So they both were able to get the stuff that they needed. And in our Walmart, there's a section by the women's area, by the changing room, where when clothes come in and they get returned, they bundle them up and tape them, and they put the yellow sticker on there, and sometimes it's up to 75% off. So I don't know if your Walmart has that, but when I go there, it's like a three shelf thing, and there's bins, and I take the bins, I put them on the ground, and I dump everything on the shelf, and things I don't need or like, I just start scooping them in there. I saw a lady today asking what I was doing. I was like, oh, looking through all the discounted stuff. She goes, all the clearance? I'm like, yeah. There's a clearance section, but then there's the closed clearance section where, people return stuff. She goes, oh, I didn't know they did that. I'm like, man, I found this out last year. So I was able to get, my kid some new pajamas, right? Because he's growing tall. Some Christmas sweaters that were super cheap. All things that would be given away or utilized, not just, oh, I need this shirt or I need these pair of pants. So that's for the kiddo stuff. They won't need anything probably till springtime, summertime. So we'll beef that up. Debt, that gets 50. I have a whole bunch of debt. Again, I'm going through a divorce, and things have not been good for the last year and a half via bills and other things like that. So I'm trying to take a hold of that. Chapter 13 I'm in, I've been paying personally since 2018. So every paycheck since 2018, I used to get paid bi-monthly, so a huge chunk of my paycheck would go to that debt. I'm almost done with it, but in the divorce, am I going to ask for my lawyer to say, oh, she can pay for the rest of it, or do I pay for the rest of it and I don't have to pay nothing else as far as whatever else debt's coming up? But if it's in my name, my lawyer said that yes, it's a community debt, you have to pay for it, so I'm working towards that. This is just the old placeholder. So now we're getting to my lower priority funds. Family gets 25, and this is for my mom, my dad, my brother-in-law, my sister, my niece, my nephew, for Christmas time. Ooh, I spent all my 20s already. Oh. And when I went to the bank today to take out the cash, the cashier in there, she was like, oh, what are you doing, anything fun today? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna cash stuff, all this stuff. She goes, oh, I used to do that, but it never worked out for me. I'm like, oh. And when I hear people say that, I ask them, well, what didn't work out for you? And she said, mainly it was just me doing the budget, or me doing the cash stuffing, me doing these things. I'm like, oh, well. She goes, I have a couple of teenagers in the house and they don't budget with me. I'm like, well, do you put restrictions on their spending and things like that? She goes, I tried. I'm like, well, you and your husband make the money. y'all can say whatever you guys want, right? Teenagers be damned, they still live under your roof. They got to go abide by these rules, and we have to teach them these things. And she goes, oh, how do you stick to it? I'm like, well, I kind of have to because I'm unemployed. But months ago, I had my kids involved with counting the money, moving the money around, playing with the money, looking at the list of where the monies are going to go. When we don't have the money, we try not to, spend it, meaning the reserves in the bank. So they understand that way. She goes, oh, I might try it again. I'm like, well, it's just like smoking. I've quit 100 times, right? Thousands of times. It's the easiest thing to do, but you just got to keep at it. So she understood that, we had a good laugh, and I left. So I'll see her again in another 2 weeks to do another cash out and tell her the progress, right? So for those that are struggling with budgeting, right? Yeah, it is a struggle, whether you're new at it or you've been doing it for a while. It is a struggle. You're going to look at everybody's pages. You're going to see mountains of money, nice acrylic cash trays and nice signage and beautiful binders and things like that. Just use what you can, right? And as you build up your budget or you get more comfortable with it, then you can find where your money can go, right? As far as a sinking fund for extracurricular activities, or get your staples out of the way, meaning the things that you need to have paid for, like a low priority driver's ed. When is that class going to start? Probably next year sometime. Am I 100% sure I'm going to send my daughter through driver's ed? Don't know, but I will have the funds for it if and when my family make that decision, right? So that's solely based on her attitude, her grades, and all the other good teenager stuff. So driver's ed gets 50. Annuals also gets 50. And I like this one. Usually I try to keep in like lower bills, but I've had to bill consolidate several times, and I've done that throughout the weeks because we'll have like 51s, and I need to move money here and there, because when I try to cash stuff, I try to get the right amount of bills to go into the envelopes. But I'm like, it really doesn't matter because I can always move money around. I can always consolidate or condense through the envelopes, right? So it's 1, 2, 3. Ooh, look at that. I didn't see that. Ooh, look at that. 1985 series. Dang. Compared to, what is this? 2013. Dang. Were some of y'all even alive in 85? Dang, look at that thing. It's a relic. Damn. I'm 41, so I'm not much older than this bill. 3, 4, 5. So I guess 50. And annuals, self-explanatory, right? Annual subscriptions, annual things, car registration. I just did I got a new computer, and I got Microsoft 365. So I paid a year in advance. So next November, I'll have to pay for the $60 or whatever it was. But then I got, Amazon, I got all these other weird things, and I didn't really budget for that before, like get ahead of it until it came up. And usually the subscriptions or the annual things are small amounts. I've watched videos where people, they didn't plan for something and it's a huge chunk, like $300 or $400 or $600 because they didn't plan for it. They expected to just pay for it out of their paycheck, and then they broke for the next month. So I'm glad I got into this budgeting, really getting to the nitty gritty of, allocating certain funds to certain things and having a budget set for that and sticking to it. As much as it sucks sometimes because you don't either have enough money, but you have in case shit happens, right? That's what this is for, in case shit happens, so you feel good about what you're doing, right? Special occasions like kids' birthday parties, or my son gets invited, or my daughter has to go, one of her little friends. That gets $10. I'll give 2 5s. It's not our birthday special occasions or anything like that. Those are in like the Kiddos stuff or family, online stuff. So when I decide to buy stuff online, which I did recently. So this setup here isn't going to be the whole setup that I have. I decided to create a hobby or create a outlet, and YouTube is going to be my outlet. If you watch my first video, I told you that I had a video a YouTube channel once upon a time, and it was pretty good. Wasn't a huge budget setup or anything like that. It was just me performing magic shows and things like that, interacting. But if I'm going to use this as a hobby, I'm going to try utilize the materials that I have. So I had a sinking fund of not necessarily online stuff, but just a sinking fund for everything, just to pull this for everything. And I used that money to buy stuff online for me, not necessarily for Christmas, but just for this production of this. Now it's not going to be super duper. It's just going to be able to get us by, right, with different lighting, camera setup, and things like that. So when the kids and I do cash stuffing, it looks more presentable for us, because they said, hey, let's spruce it up a little bit. I'm like, okay, a little bit at a time. So online stuff doesn't get anything. It's gonna, $10 it's in there is gonna stay in there. When shit happens, that gets 30, and that's super self-explanatory. It's like a just in case or an emergency type thing. Not necessarily an emergency like I need new tires. It's like, I budgeted for this and I'm a little bit over, and the buffer is not there because we messed around with it. We used it for savings challenges, and now we need money, right? Again, it's not my emergency fund. It's my shit happens, right? Yeah, I know I can get different stickers and make the envelopes look pretty. I messed around with vellum and made vellum envelopes, and I had a bunch of these stickers from a lot of sticker crafts we did, so I just trying to put it on here. So maybe if I create another sinking fund for project stuff, I'll probably put that on the list. My daughter has a Cricut, my oldest, right? But she's in North Dakota, right? That's why I have this thing here, Proud Air Force. Or Parent of Airmen. She's stationed in North Dakota, and she has the Cricut. So, and she's an adult, and she's married, and she's only 20, but she's like old in her years, I guess. She knows what she's doing, right? So she has the Cricut. I asked her today, hey, could I send you some stuff to make? She goes, yeah, but it might be a little too much back and forth with the shipping and everything. I'm like, well, why don't I just buy stuff off of Etsy? Right, because I've seen some of y'all have some really beautiful stuff out there, like the savings challenges, the envelopes, the stickers and stuff. I'm like, ooh, I can't make it look like that, but I'm like, should I try? Like, nah. So I may buy some stuff. We'll see. But these stickers, right, if they're on sale at Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot and Michael's, not Home Depot. What's the other place? Hobby Lobby. There you go. I'll buy it and I'll use it. For now, month ahead, that's gonna get 30 also. I used to have some stuff in here for the month ahead, but I had to use it for as a tip or a tithing, giving for some of the movers that helped me move some stuff. They came and took away some big trash, and I was grateful for that. I didn't even track this. But it's on my main tracker anyway, so I'll be able to do that off camera. Right. So that goes for singing funds. Let's see what I got. I got $300 that goes to the lawyer. Maybe I paid that dude $300, right? Because he wanted a lump sum, and he goes, well, since you're going through some stuff, and then when I told him, hey, yo, I lost my job, he's like, oh, how do you want to handle the payment? I'm like, whatever you want, you're the boss. And he goes, oh, let's do it in installments. Can you handle this installments? Like, you know what, I will budget for it. And that's what he liked to hear, that I'm doing with my money rather than just spending it, on stuff. Like, yeah, so I showed him my budget program and things like that, and I made these envelopes, again, free off the internet. So when I go to his paralegal, I hand this to her, and she likes the envelopes that I give. So when I have the kids, they'll draw a big thank you on there, and they'll sign their name. It's Christmas time, so they'll probably put Merry Christmas and things like that. So lawyer gets $300. My emergency fund, I want to make sure I always fund that. So I haven't had to take anything out of it, but I've had to do bill consolidation with the emergency fund money. So I had $1,200 in there, or I do have $1,200. And I wanted to make sure I put $150 in there to add and keep adding, right? Now, the $150 can be broken up into other sinking funds, right? The ones that have 25 and the other ones have 50. But I want to keep building that one so it's a good nest egg to have, right? Since I'm unemployed, Dave Ramsey talks about those things. Okay, if you're in step 2, do these things, right? But then, when you're not doing that because you're unemployed, because no income is coming in, yes, I have a severance pay, yes, I have unemployment, but at the same time, that's all accounted for. That's all spoken for. I don't have anything super extra to save. So, try and stack as much money as you can. So that's what I'm doing with the emergency fund, right? Again, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I don't have a bridge job yet. I don't need one right now, but when it comes to push and shove, I'll be able to do that. Plus I'll have things to rely on and make sure the kids are taken care of. That's the first and foremost. Their safety and security is paramount, right? So hopefully this is $50 here, if I did my math correctly. That's 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. High five. I was a little worried I was going to have that not come out correctly because I wasn't using the calculator and I didn't rehearse these things. But I have my cheat sheet here. Paycheck budget tracker by the Budget Mom. I like this tracker, and I've used other ones, but sometimes I scratch things out to make my own, like my sinking funds. There's not a whole list of all my sinking funds, so I don't put the extra debt here. I add the extra sinking funds here, right? So I may redo my own, like many people have done, but this is a good starter. So if you're out there and looking at these videos like, oh, well, where do you get that from? Get it online. I laminate mine because I write a lot and I make a lot of mistakes. So when I use this and I write on it and I make a mistake, let's see, it's for my cash out. I use Sharpie marker to write the stuff, and if I need to erase, I take a dry erase marker and something to wipe it away with, and it takes away that ink, that permanent marker ink. Okay, so I have my cheat sheet, so everything's accounted for. I do my budget sheet every paycheck, a couple of days before I get paid, because I'm in the know of what I'm gonna have before then. So I end up doing this a bunch of times. Like this number will change, or these numbers won't change, but somehow I want to move money from one account to the other, and I have this much in the account. I'm going to keep this much inside the account. Will this sinking fund have this much money added to it? Will this one? So that's why I do it in, I have it laminated so I can reuse it over and over and over again. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And hopefully the kiddos aren't so tired, and they'll be here to move the money around in and out of envelopes, and have a good time. They were just tired today. I saw it in their face. They had a long day today, and I don't want to have to put the pressure of them. Oh, right, I'll start counting money. Remember, you're on camera. So we are Valdez Budgetz. We're out.